No.
Welcome everybody back to the podcast. Just a reminder, I am your host, your co-host, Danny,
and
with Ed.
Hey, that's what I was gonna say. Every time we start a podcast, we never mention like, hey,
we never
welcome
introduce
back to,
ourselves, right?
Yeah. Welcome.
So you want to start all over again?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Welcome everybody back to Job Adventures Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Danny, with my co-host
Ed.
It's too short.
I know, but what else do we say?
I don't know. Like, your name is pretty long. You have Eduardo Juarez Gil Magdalena.
Get the fuck. Yeah, no. Give everybody my social while you're at it too. Damn. ¿Y tú? Daniel Murillo? That's it? No, you gotta have a middle name, dude.
I don't have a middle name. Even my name's weird. Like, my name's a nickname.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you're like hopped up on those meds, dude. When you know, what is it when you're going through birth? When they give you the...
My mom didn't even know, like, my name was Danny.
Oh, damn, your dad hella just took advantage of signing the papers?
Yeah, from what I heard. Here we go. Vulnerable 101 again. 2.0. Yeah, I guess, my dad, was just like, sign the name and fucking done deal. And I guess they took me to my mom and my dad's like, his name's Danny.
Damn, that's some boss ass shit,
yeah.
Dude. That's what they used to do back in Mexico, right?
When I have my kid, that's what I'm going to do.
Damn, dude, that's what's up, dude. So what's the name on the agenda, dude? You getting Danny Jr.? Take one end off?
You know, if I do have a boy, I'm going to correct it. So I'm going to name him Daniel.
You're going to do it the right way?
Yeah, I'm going to do it the right way.
You're not going to skip a step. I like that.
Yeah. No, we're not cutting any fucking corners. And someone that could probably advocate for that is our guest today.
Who's your guest, Danny?
Our guest is somebody special.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I've known her a long time, but I'm still getting to know her.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Like, the reason she's here is because I have no idea what she does for work.
And you live with her. That's crazy.
That's the crazy part. That's the scary part.
Oh, yeah.
I live with her.
Yeah.
And I don't know what she does for a living.
It's crazy because, I mean, me and my significant other, we talk about it all the time. So I know what she does for, like, to the T. But I give her advice. I give her, she comes to me with issues. So it's just like, but then again, what she does is like, I used to do, like being like an account manager. So I excel in that kind of stuff. Like, oh, hey, you need to do this. You know what I mean? And especially when it comes to problems with like employees, I'm like, hey, go about it this way.
You see, that's the difference because she'll come up to me and say like, oh, this happened at work today, blah, 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 blah. And like, I'm like, I don't even know what that word is. Like, I don't even know what you said. But anyways, would you like to introduce our guest today?
Yeah. So like you said, special guest here. She is my comadre. I've known her for a long time too. But so Jackie Cuevas, you want to kind of take us down what exactly you do, your job title?
Yeah.
Or say hi first.
Oh, yeah. Or say hi to the guys.
For sure. Hello, everyone.
Or listeners.
You sound different.
I do. I actually hate listening to myself.
Oh, you better get used to it.
Oh, that's a thing. You know that?
Yeah. Well, remember I said I in the beginning I was like,
well, you guys are used to it now.
Yeah, now we're used to it.
Yeah, no, for sure. But there's like, I think there's like an actual, like, I don't want to say disease, but there's this actually famous guy that like he will get mad if people play back his stuff.
Oh.
Like, yeah, he goes crazy.
It's just weird. I feel like I don't sound like myself when I listen to myself like this.
Yeah.
But
you'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, well, hello everyone, and thank you both for inviting me to be in the podcast.
Thanks for being here.
Why are you laughing, Danny?
Because I was going to say something dumb, but I need to be professional. You are our guests, not because you're my wife. Okay. Yeah.
This is a professional setting, but it could be fun too.
We had nobody else. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
Oh, that was the joke.
Right.
Yeah, that was the joke. I'm kidding. I am
kidding.
kidding. Damn, everybody's going to hate me now.
Go ahead, come on. No, again, this is a place for fun. So, what exactly do you do? Or what company do you work for?
Well, I'm not going to say
okay.
company name, but
okay, sorry.
I can start off with, I am a program coordinator or program manager overseeing a workforce training program. I do work for a nonprofit in Fresno County. But yeah, basically what I do in my role is I manage a team of 2 in overseeing this workforce training program and helping specific population, underserved population, to find employment for these candidates to be self-efficient. And essentially, I also help employers hire these candidates where they can receive like an incentive to hire our candidates in our program. Essentially, with working with this program in specific is, we have certain metrics and goals to meet with placements and things like that. So yeah, that's a little bit of what I do in my role where I'm at right now.
So do you work with the employers directly, like to try to hire the people in the workforce for you guys, or what?
Yes. That's one of the things that we do is engage with employers that have that hiring need. And once they express that, then we let them know, hey, you can participate in our program to hire our candidates. Essentially, it's an extra tool that you can have as an employer. Like typically you're hiring from, general public with like Indeed or other sources, things like that. So this is just another tool that you can have to search for candidates that are actually looking for work.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
With these candidates, where are you guys mainly pulling from? Is there like programs that you guys like develop people that go to those programs, or how does that work? Like, where do you pulling these people to put them in those businesses?
Yeah, so essentially the population we work with, as I mentioned, is like underserved population. So these are candidates that are unemployed and looking to get back into the workforce.
Okay.
So do they have to sign up for something in particular, like something they have to go through you, or like, hey, you guys can go through the unemployment, California database and like, oh, hey, these people are unemployed. They're around Fresno, that we can try to get these guys in our program, or how does it work?
Essentially, it's through the Department of Social Services.
Ah, okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So this is like candidates that are receiving some type of government assistance.
Okay. So now how broad of a search are the jobs that you guys have available? So I mean, like, are there like software engineers, or is it just like more like, hey, like we're, I don't want to say like getting your hands type of dirty kind of jobs?
It's very entry level.
Oh, okay,
so it's an entry level positions that are trainable, coachable, and that they can work their way up within the business or industry. So essentially with our program, we have a very diverse, diverse positions or industries that we work with. And it's all dependent on what the population or our candidates, the skills that they have or the interest of industries that they're interested in. So essentially when we're searching for businesses or employers that we want to have them participate in our program, we look at what are our candidates looking for, or what's the skills that they already have. That way, we're making that connection with our candidates and our employers.
Oh, okay. So what exactly are you coordinating in between? So if if your employers are kind of already set and your, the unemployment, the people that are in unemployment, like where do you come into play? What exactly are you organizing?
So essentially our program goal is that one, we can help that employer with finding a candidate, because we know that right now that's a big gap. It's workforce, just in general overall. So helping that business finding a long-term candidate. At the same time, they're receiving an incentive. So this is like wages or subsidies or reimbursements paid for wages or hours worked from that candidate. And at the same time, it's helping our unemployment rate in Fresno County with our candidates finding long-term employment, getting off the system and then becoming self-efficient. So essentially we're trying to help our, workforce and our businesses as well as our community and our residents.
Okay.
So you have a big pool, I'm assuming, and this is just an assumption, you have a big pool of job seekers. Is that assumption right?
Yes.
Okay. What about jobs? Like, I know you seek out businesses. How do you go about seeking a new business to join the program?
So we have, like I said, we have a team. So we have a team specifically for outreach to engage with employers that are always either at job fairs, events, networking, or just anything business related. We make sure that we're there and engaging with these employers. At the same time, it's like I mentioned, if we have candidates that, for example, are looking like we have a big portion that are looking for warehouse work, we're going to target those kind of employers that would probably hire warehouse employees. So we make either targeted outreach or just on our daily when we're engaging with businesses, because the organization that I work for, we're very client or business based.
So are there any more programs or I guess companies in Fresno that do something similar, or are you guys kind of the only one?
There's different similar programs, but not exactly the same. There's a lot of other programs out there that provide like work experience, things like that, or just kind of helping the same population, but different benefits for the employers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now to kind of take a step back. So if walk us through in a day life of Jackie, like what does your day start like and what exactly are you doing? Mm-hmm. You kind of told us the broad, perspective of what you do, but what is it that you do in a day to day?
Please start with me making your coffee in the morning.
Sometimes. You swear just because now we have a freaking coffee maker.
It'll stop. I used to be the same way with my little espresso machine. I'm just like, yeah, no, this is too much. The cleanup?
Honestly, yeah, the cleanup. But honestly, it was kind of nice today, like hearing it
was regular coffee this morning.
Yeah, it was regular.
Drip coffee or what?
Yeah, it was drip coffee, but I had the delayed brewed.
Oh.
And then like my alarm went off, and then like how we were chilling, and then and then she's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "That's your coffee."
Yeah. And then you smell it, and it's like, okay, I can wake up like this every day. Yeah.
Sorry for.
But
go ahead.
No, it's fine. But yeah, starts with coffee, and then, well, with being a manager, of course, you're overseeing a team, and that's one of the things that, as in management or just having a team in general, you're not just worrying about yourself, you're worrying about your team as well. And with my day-to-day, it's mainly, now I work in an office setting, and Danny thinks that all I do is read emails, which a portion of that is correct. But there's a lot of other involvement of, things that I do, which typically mornings are, yes, I read my emails, look at my calendar. What's my day looking like? Do I have appointments or meetings with employers, any internal meetings? And then it's, looking at any emails that are coming in. And I do manage like multiple email boxes because of the way that my workflow works. Communicating with our partners, things like that. But aside from that is managing the day-to-day of the program. We have like a specific website for a program that manages the day-to-day pieces of it. I pretty much make sure that everything's running smoothly within our program with all of the day-to-day things, whether if it's like a candidate issue, an employer issue, a reimbursement issue for, the hours. There's a lot of moving pieces that I need to keep track of and maintain and step in when needed to kind of resolve any issues that are happening on the day-to-day basis.
So you were talking about issues. So if we're talking about like a candidate issue, what would that look like?
So one of the things that we do is with my team. So when an employer joins our program, finds a candidate, we kind of do a support for the employer and the candidate, where we check in to see, how is this candidate doing? Are they showing up on time? Are they dressed appropriately? Is there any issues or concerns that the employer may have that maybe we can step in and address? Meaning we can either talk to the client or the candidate, coach them, mentor them, or bring in our partners that need to be involved to try to resolve it. As we know with our population, they have been unemployed for maybe quite some time. And they just kind of forgot what it's like, having a job on a day-to-day basis, or how to act on the job too. It's like those soft skills come to place with, how to act on the job, do's and don'ts. How do you communicate to an employer, those kind of things. So that's one of the things that our team does, is making sure that we check in with our employers to see how our candidates are doing. So issues may be that, someone's late all the time. So when an employer, typically just a regular employee, right, you'll need to address that with them directly. we advise that they do that as well, but at the same time communicate with us so that we can pull that candidate aside and see what's going on. It may be that childcare or any other maybe issues that could be happening at home that is now affecting their workflow. So that's where we step in and support.
Okay, so you mentioned childcare. So do you guys help with that kind of situation? Or how does that work?
Yeah,
you would just kind of talk to them like, hey, bro, get your shit together?
Well, not necessarily. We have partners that can assist with that, or we provide them or refer them to the resources that can address those issues.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So possibly come up with a solution to kind of help them out.
Yeah.
Damn, so you were kind of talking about like people that kind of, I don't know, all the stuff that you said about like the do's and don'ts, like getting a job. It would seem like it's kind of common sense, but are we talking about people that have been out of the workforce for a long time, or they're just kind of, I hate to use this term, but just like they're just kind of ghetto, where it's like, hey, they don't know?
Yeah, I think it's maybe they don't know, or they weren't taught, or they just kind of lost that skill, after some time. Or I think what it is too is just like habits that they create maybe with the previous employer that was allowed, not necessarily with this employer. So a lot of things that when we see is like they don't call in when they're not going to show up to work.
Oh, damn.
So there are no call, no shows. Or if they're going to be late, they're not notifying their employer. Additionally to that, sometimes they'll like be on their phone while at work. It's little things that you think is like, okay, common sense. But at the same time, to them, it's like they haven't really been taught otherwise. So that's where we kind of show them, how do you dress? How do you communicate? Those kind of things.
Damn, dude, I just want to say, like, when I call in, dude, I'm like thinking about that shit all day. And like, it really bothers me. Yeah, not only what I'm going to say, but just for the rest of the day, I'm just like, damn, I called in. Like, I just feel like
you don't even enjoy your day off.
Yes, dude. And it could be because I'm sick or whatever happened, but it's still in the back of my mind. But there's so many people that I've seen, they're just like, oh, I don't care. It's just a job. I'm like, I don't care. But I'm like, damn, dude, I don't know. My job is a part of me, and I take that shit, I wear my job on my sleeve, so it's like for people to kind of do that shit, I'm like, whoa, that's wild. But yeah, crazy.
I mean, I think it depends too, like how serious you are about, a job, or how badly do you need it too, and all of that.
But I'm sure those people need their job, but they still don't, they act like they don't, but they need that shit,
Yeah, no, of course. So I just think it's on a case by case basis, but essentially those are the kind of soft skills that we're referring to. Even like mock interviews, how do you interview? How do you answer these questions appropriately? Do you have resumes? Things like that. Is we want to prepare them so that they're successful in this job. Our goal is that they find a job where they can be trained and make a good income, that they can move up with that business, that they can become, self-efficient for them and their families, that they found employment long-term, or that they can work there for some time and maybe go somewhere else, for the better for themselves. Same thing with the employers too, is we know that training someone is costly. I mean, you guys could probably attest to that. When you're training, it's like time invested, money invested, and that's just cost a lot of money, or just time in general. And then sometimes you shuffle through candidates left and right, and you're now like, you trained them for 2-3 months, boom, they're gone, and now the next one, so that happens a lot. And that's one of the reasons why they provide an incentive for hiring our candidates. Yeah.
I think we were talking about Luis, the police officer episode, where he was saying the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's a 6-month training academy, and at the end of the day, they actually get into the actual field. They're like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. But it takes another 6 months to go get another cop to try to fill in that spot, and that's why there's so many shortages and stuff. So, and I totally understand where that comes from. And yeah, training, it's very costly, Mm-hmm. So I understand where these employers are kind of coming from, but yeah, it's pretty wild, and it's kind of cool that you guys have those resources for, people that are employed trying to, get back on track and stuff,
For sure, because I think we all been there in some time, and I'm not saying everyone, but at some point you lose your job or you quit your job, and then you end up, maybe filing for unemployment in some point of time. But even with like pandemic, like that put a big, dent into that, where we had, a large pool of candidates. And what I'm referring to that is that a lot of people are in the system for many different reasons, right? It could be because you're caregiving for someone, or an illness, or just, you just lost your job, or whatever it may be. It's different scenarios.
Can you, you touched a little bit on it, But as an employer, what else would I get out of getting a candidate from your program?
Yeah. So as an employer, as I mentioned, you can treat our program as an additional tool to search for candidates. Aside from that, it's that incentive that you're receiving to get back for wages worked from our program for every candidate that you hire. And aside from that is the support that you receive from our team, which is assisting to address any issues or concerns that you have with your candidate. Essentially, those are the three main benefits. Another thing that now we've adapted to is kind of pre-screening our candidates and providing you those referrals. So essentially, we're searching for the candidates for you. So if you're an employer and you're searching for a cashier, we'll do that search for you and say, here's 5 candidates that have that qualification you're looking for. We've talked to them, they're interested, and now we've done that search for you, right? Within our program, because of course, there's other portals as well. But essentially, then you get the chance to see those resumes and say, okay, I want to interview these 3. So that's how we, provide that support with just helping you find candidates sooner.
I got a question. You might not know the answer to this, but you said there's an incentive, behind these employees or whatever. Where's this incentive coming from? State of California? Who's paying for this?
It would be the county.
Okay, so county of whatever county they're getting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it would be like Fresno County.
So, and this is something that you guys get allocated based on like the numbers of your guys' numbers on how well you guys are doing, or is each employee? I'm sorry, not employee, but position. Is every position different, or how does that work?
No, essentially, without going into too much detail, it's like a contract that we have with the county to run this program or oversee this program. So it's just funding that is allocated towards this specific workforce training program.
But each employee is pretty much the same. It's the same incentive for this,
Yeah, there's no specifics to it. It's just whatever hours they worked.
Oh, okay. I see. Mm-hmm. Okay. I was kind of curious because I'm like, you mentioned this is a nonprofit. So I was just like, hey, something's got to make these wheels turn. You know what I mean? So it's just like, hey.
No, for sure. And I mean, working as a nonprofit, it's like you have public, private sectors that are, funding the nonprofit. So we have either specific contracts or specific, sponsors, things like that.
Oh,
investors.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So touching on a little bit on that, what are the pros and cons of working for a nonprofit?
I would say, at least where I'm at right now, I guess I could start with the pros. So the cool part of where I work is that they provide, full benefits, including insurance for us. I know not all nonprofits do that, but that's one of the reasons why, like, to me, that's a perk, is that our employer, pays for our insurance. Like, we don't pay anything out of pocket.
Oh, no way.
So to me, that's like a huge help. But aside from that, I think with the nonprofit, we're an organization of like about 25 people. I consider it small. Some may consider it big, but I guess with a nonprofit, it's kind of like you develop your workflow based on the contracts and the income that you're receiving in towards the nonprofit. So I guess you can design it to, what's the workflow that you want to have, or what's the project that you want to bring in as an organization. So I think that's also a perk as well, because it could be designed, how do you want this organization to be ran, in a sense, right? Some of the cons I would say is that, again, your organization is running based off funding, right? It's not just incoming like any other business where it's like you're making revenue. I mean, all our services are free. So we don't charge or anything like that, but like our salary and the business is contingent upon, what income's coming in, to keep the business afloat, essentially, what contracts, what investors, that sort of thing. So I think that's the con, where you're always looking for new investors or new contracts to maintain the business going. So that would be a con for me, because is my job really secured long term? That's kind of questionable in a sense. Yeah. But for me right now, it's like my job is secured based on the contract or the program that I'm overseeing.
That's cool. It kind of sounds like sales. You're constant like a car salesman. You know, you're commission. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, you don't know what you're gonna get paid next. It depends on how well you're doing or how much how well you're getting after it. You know what I mean? But I mean, it sounds like, I don't know, the benefits definitely outweigh. Dude, I've never heard of a company paying for your benefits. I'm just saying, that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So to me, that's a huge perk.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to share like a successful story of someone that you followed through the program?
Like a candidate or
like a candidate.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I would say that's one of the rewarding pieces of my job or my position right now is getting to hear the success stories, which were highly like always outreaching to get those success stories. Of course, like with everything, there's, things happen, there's terminations, there's people that quit, things like that. But when you get to hear a success story, and one of them that kind of stands out in particular is a gentleman that was hired, as a truck driver type of thing. And he worked with the business, moved up, slowly. He was trained, then became a driver and everything. And he actually ended up, getting a good income for himself. And not only that, but he was able to like apply for, a home loan. And we just actually got the news that he got approved to purchase a home. And to him, it was like, that was like a huge win. And as well as sharing with us, like thanking us for the opportunity and being able to help someone that, of course, not only just finding a job, but actually being able to purchase a home and knowing that we were a part of that in some way. To me, that's the rewarding piece, that I was able to, in some type, shape or form, even if I didn't help them directly, just me making sure that we're finding these businesses or, just running the program itself and knowing that I was able to help someone, even as small as, I touched that candidate in particular. That's a huge success. And not only that is like, even for the businesses, like, they've been searching for candidates and they found one and he worked out and he was successful with them as well. So that's just kind of one example of a success story. I mean, I can maybe touch on a few others, but a lot of them have to do a lot with some of these candidates maybe have never really, like, I think they doubt themselves or they're really cutting themselves short sometime, or like, I don't know if I can do this, or they've never really like had anything like of big value, that they've purchased, things like that, or just alone being able to like just purchase things for their kids. That alone, I think it's a win when they share things like that with us.
So right now you were kind of touching basis on, that the truck driver, and he kind of, made up the ranks. How long are you guys paying for that incentive for that employer to like have that employee on? Are you guys only paying for like the first year, or is it until they are,
Yeah,
working?
No, it's for a full year.
Okay. And after that, hey, the employer decides to bring them on or whatever.
Yeah. And essentially, our program is designed in a way that we're not asking for employers to just participate for an incentive, that they're retaining these candidates, even after the incentive is over, because that employee is theirs from the beginning. So they can, hire and fire outright. The only difference is now they're kind of like, in a sense, reporting for that incentive. But essentially, we've had great success with our program with businesses retaining, candidates long term. Some of them have even, like, now they even manage more candidates that are coming in through that business. So we've had a lot of success stories where candidates have moved up with their business, and became, someone like a leader or a shift leader, things like that.
Have you guys encountered businesses that tried to abuse the program? And how did you guys deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, it has happened, and we monitor everything. So, we have our portal, we have reporting to track, we need to track or monitor program reporting for either success or failures. And we have to report that all back, to our partners, things like that. But essentially when we find a business that, you know, is abusing of our program or the incentive and that sort of thing, we discuss that with our partners and determine, is this a business that we want to, you know, retain in the program or let them go due to those reasons, because we have policies and agreements of, you know, what's the type of business that we're looking for. Essentially, we're looking for businesses that understand the population that we're working with, that want to provide that opportunity, that have those training pathways, that are able to cooperate and provide the second chance to these candidates as well. But at the same time is they should be able to, you know, pay for their wages, things like that up front. They shouldn't be solely reliable on just this incentive.
That's crazy though. I didn't know about this program, but it's just like, so if people have like a certain amount of labor, you know, like, hey, I can only spend this much, but then they bring on your company, that's not affecting their labor, right? Because you guys are paying these guys' incentive for like the year, right? My thing is like, why aren't more companies doing this? If they're short on labor and they can use these guys after the year's up, they can just kind of slide these guys in on the people that aren't doing so well and fire the guys that aren't doing so well and bring these guys on. I'm just thinking about pilot in general. How many times were we short on labor? But then there's people that just wouldn't show up, and we have nobody to cover anybody because I don't know. That's just, I'm thinking of that, and I'm just like, damn, this would have been a good incentive to kind of, I don't know, maybe partner with all these pilots because I'm sure they're short on all this labor, dude.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
It's not. And cashiers, I mean, nobody wants to work graveyard, and I'm telling you, at least when I was working there, pilot was running so short on employees because obviously, why are you going to hire somebody if you can't offer them full time? You know what I mean? But when somebody calls out, you got nobody to call. So I don't know. Right. Again, that's just kind of something to kind of.
At one point, I was the manager on shift and the grill.
Yeah,
the cook. I was doing both and drive through. It's a perfect segue into what you were saying about like the pilots. So you talked. This program's Fresno County, right?
Correct.
How far does this stretch? Is it border just Fresno County and the cities in Fresno County, or are you guys seeking and helping businesses outside of the lines of Fresno County?
So we only service Fresno County, but in the past we have participated or enrolled businesses like, let's just say Madera. The only thing is they have to hire Fresno County residents.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, you mentioned the pilots. I think it can be done, and it has been done in the past, especially because, I mean, I commute to Fresno, right? So anyone could commute to the surrounding cities. It's just contingent upon, you know, can they make that commute?
Transportation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not easy because, I mean,
right.
Yeah,
you go into like, do they have a reliable car?
Yeah.
And then,
because Fresno, what I enjoy about Fresno is they have public transportation. Their buses are on point. Mm-hmm. You can get just about anywhere in a organized amount of time. Because I think they have like apps and stuff on what time the bus is going to be there, all that great stuff. Madera, we don't have that. And if you're going to try to get a job here in Madera, yeah, you better have a car because, yeah, it's wild. And you're probably going to be running late because Madera's only got that 2-lane highway. Oh, God, dude, fuck Madera. Yeah, anyway, yeah, so it's yeah, it's pretty crazy, but...
Well, it's not just Madera, right? It's like...
What do you mean?
I don't know. I feel like it's all Central Valley anyway.
I mean, traffic-wise?
Yes.
I guess you're right. I mean, the 180 sucks. You're right. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you're right. Guys, you guys need to start riding your bikes more or just carpool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish we could ride little mopeds, little Vespas.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That'd be awesome.
Me. Yeah,
like, dude. Fresno, like, Fresno should just do like a program like Vespas are allowed everywhere, and like the traffic would go down, and you know everybody would be having a blast.
Vespas, but
is it a Vespa? Is that what? Am I saying the right thing?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But can you imagine me from Madera going?
Get out of the way!
And then Ed passes me up with it.
every morning. I do see a Vespa though, coming down Lake Street every morning.
Oh, really?
And it's like a pretty old school Vespa. And it might be a Honda. I don't know, but. I was just like, damn, that's pretty cool. And even though when it's cold, he stays committed. He's just got like a bigger jacket. And I'm just like, my dude. But yeah, anyway, yeah, it's okay. So it's kind of cool to know that, hey, you guys work with, you know, outer, you know, companies out of your city, but are they willing to make that drive? So
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. So this is the program that you manage.
Correct.
Okay. Are you able to touch bases a little bit about what else you guys like, what else do you guys do for Fresno County? Or like, what else do you guys, is there more that organization does?
Yes. So other things that we do is we provide business services. So essentially providing business services to our surrounding cities or all in Fresno County. And this essentially what it is if a business has a need for expanding or retaining open, we provide resources, or essentially we can refer you to the right resources that can address that issue or help you with that. So what I'm trying to say is, let's say you're a business owner. I'm going to put Marissa as an example, right? Your previous
Cookies by Sasa. Shout out to Cookies by Sasa. Please buy your cookies from Cookies by Sasa.
Yes. Which I tried them and they were so good. Thank you, Marissa. But let's just say her as an example. She's looking for that kitchen, right? That working space kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say she would have reached out to us if she was a business registered in Fresno County. She reaches out to us and tells us like, hey, I have this niece, or we encounter her at one of her, like those pop-up events. And then she tells us like, I'm looking for something like this. We would eventually, refer her to the right point of contact to find a location like that, or provide her maybe other routes of how her business can maybe thrive, or link her to maybe financial resources to grants, incentives, things like that. So that's one of the things that we do is just business service resources to help either a business grow or retain open or retention. Another thing is trying to attract businesses outside of Fresno County into Fresno County. So that may be, a business out of state, out of country that is interested in relocating here or opening a business here. So essentially we help with like site selection. So if, let's say, Marissa wants to open a little pastry store or restaurant, we would help her find a location for that too. So that's other services that we provide aside from the, our workforce training program.
Oh, I like that. That's actually kind of cool. So Marissa, move to Fresno.
Well, let's just basis on that. Say Marissa, I'm sorry, Marissa, we keep using you as an example, but let's say is there a program here in Madera County that you know of that could help businesses in Madera County?
Yeah. I mean, there's an EDC at Madera County.
Okay.
EDC, what is that? Isn't that like the raving thing?
No, I mean, it's called economic development in Madera County. So essentially they provide services similar to ours.
Oh, okay. And they help out like small businesses like that too?
As well. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Marissa, reach out, dude. Help yourself out.
I don't know the CEO, but I think I remember his last name's Khan. Something Khan. So yeah, he's president of Madera County EDC, and I guess they do they do similar things like you guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Anyway, Marissa, reach out to Jackie. She might be able to help you out to do, I don't know, ask the right questions here in Madera. But no, okay, that's awesome. So for the people that are kind of in Fresno County and they're kind of trying to, how do they kind of get into this program? Like, what do they need to do? Because, I mean, for me, when I'm unemployed, I go straight to Indeed. I go to jobs.com or Monster or whatever. But I never knew about this program. So, I mean, how are you guys finding your candidates?
Well, we get them through our partners. The partners that we work with, essentially, like I mentioned, these are candidates that are in unemployment, right? They're in
so that's where you guys are grabbing them, right?
Yeah.
So you guys are grabbing from the unemployment pool?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. I thought I had to physically go and like sign up for this.
No.
Okay. Sorry, there's my question. Yeah. You got anything?
Yeah. I guess let's take it back a little bit. Do you have training in did you have training prior to this? Like, did you go to school for this? What did you do? How did you end up in the position that you're in now?
Mm-hmm. No, I wish I had gone to school for this, but no, I guess I'll take it back a little bit of how I ended up where I am right now. But essentially I worked retail for a long time. Like I think that was my first job. I worked there for 5+ years. And when the pandemic happened, I ended up kind of quitting that job for many reasons, and then took a break and decided to do something different. I wasn't sure if like I wanted to go back to school or what I wanted to do. So kind of taking a little more back, originally when I graduated from high school, I wanted to become an RN, a registered nurse. And I went to Madera Community College to get my prerequisites to apply for the Fresno City program, for the registered nursing program. And it's based off lottery, right? So as I was going to community college, I started working at O'Reilly Auto Parts, started part-time there, and then just kind of worked my way up to different positions within the business. And I decided like, okay, I'll continue going to school and working. And I ended up applying for the program and everything. And I was like, okay, well, while I wait, I'll just continue over here. And things were looking pretty good at O'Reilly's. You know, I was living with my parents still, getting good money, at least that's what I thought, good money.
I think we've all been there.
We all
right? Said that. We're going to
Definitely.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll just continue this. I've already applied as a lottery, and I'll just wait till I get called or they notify me. And it could be years, as what I've heard from people, like they waited like 2+ years and then they got called, or they never did, one or the other. But I ended up working with O'Reilly's, assistant managing, even managing and training, I think at that point. But for whatever reason, and I guess I'm a believer of like, I don't know, things happen for a reason. And Ed, you kind of touched on this last time, like I was that person that doesn't read her emails.
And all of a sudden she has a job that all she does is read emails. What?
Very ironic. I know.
The irony.
Till this day, I don't read my personal emails.
That's wild. She has like 1,000.
Like 3,000.
Unread.
3,000. I think it's like 3,000 and counting.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I know, but I think, okay, so Danny knows this about me. I'm very forgetful. I forget everything. Everything. And literally yesterday, my alarm went off because I have alarms for everything. Or I have reminders. I have calendar reminders for everything. And my alarm went off because I don't know, I had to take some medication or whatever. And then I was like, dude, I had totally forgotten. If it wasn't for my alarm, like I would have totally forgot about it. So,
and who told you to put an alarm?
Yeah, you did.
Me. Because she forgot to put... never mind.
Yeah, anyways. So yeah, I'm very forgetful. And I think I just got into the moment of like just working. I even forgot about the whole lottery thing at some point, and I ended up getting a letter in the mail and was like, you had gotten accepted, but you didn't respond to the email, so you didn't, you lost your chance.
Damn, so they sent you a letter just to rub it in your face?
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn, that's wild.
Yeah, I remember I got that. Did I show it to you? I think we were married by then, weren't we?
No, we weren't married.
No, huh?
No.
Damn, it seems so long that you guys have been married that you think you guys have been married for a while.
Yeah, well, we just had 10 years married.
Oh, well, congrats, guys.
That's a long time.
Thanks, I know.
Ow.
I know. But to think about it, that like I've known you since 2008. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. That's a long time.
Kind of you too, huh, Ed?
What?
Known you since, well, I didn't really like start, I guess,
hanging out. You didn't really like me?
You. No, hanging out with you. You know whose fault it was that I wasn't hanging out with you?
No, who?
Mine.
Danny's.
Oh, yeah, he would never bring you around.
Yeah,
you're right. He's right. Yeah. Because even when I would say hi when you guys were together, it would just be like a quick, oh, hey, what's up? And then
he would never be like,
oh,
hey,
this is Jackie.
Or like took me with you guys.
When was the first time
I was after high school for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
I think like he was already at, well, you were already at Pilot anyway.
Yeah, I was already at Pilot.
When we went to the snow?
No,
before that.
It was before that.
I think it's when like you were dating and we were dating.
Yeah.
That's when we started kind of hanging out.
Yeah, it had to have been, but it wasn't during high school or anything.
No.
Which I really did think it was weird, but I was like, whatever. But yeah, so 2009 probably.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, didn't get in there, and now I think like, okay, maybe, I don't know. I think it was meant to be, honestly. But long story short, I forgot where I was going with all of this.
We were talking about how you ended up in the position that you are now.
Yeah.
So COVID happened. You separate ways with O'Reilly's, and
Yes.
then what happened? Oh, you took
and
a long ass break. No, I'm just kidding. You took a break.
Yeah. So I stopped going to school, didn't get into the nursing program. I was like, all right, I'm just going to continue with O'Reilly's. And I was like manager and training and everything. And I was like, okay, I can make a career out of this. Like, I like managing. I like doing this. Like, I like the flow and the rush of things. But then stupid COVID happened. And then I think it just broke me. Like, it just...
You were one of the ones that were essential. You were an essential worker.
See, fucking think about. I would come home and tell Daddy, like, who decided that a fucking auto parts store is essential? Like, why? He's on cars need to run. I don't.
Because cars need to make it to the hospital. You don't understand.
Yeah,
You're
I was
an
like-
essential
and
worker.
I was so mad
The
about that shit
sucky
too.
part, and I bet you were one of these people, Ed. But
Oh,
the
wow.
sucky part was that everyone who wasn't essential was home, and guess
No.
what the fuck they were doing?
Yeah, getting paid more. Yeah.
Working on their cars.
Oh.
So that meant we were busier.
Ed,
Damn, I
was,
never even
Ed
done-
was working.
Yeah, I
He
was
in
working, dude.
People needed Red Bull.
Where
That's
were
what
you
pissed
at?
me the fuck
Oh.
off. Yeah.
People needed Red Bull.
People were getting mad at the fucking
They
grocery
needed,
stores.
and that was probably me, like popping a Red Bull every fucking day because
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
people that were working on their cars needed a damn Red Bull.
Or no, the people that are
It's
at
a
home with their
freaking
fucking kids
cycle,
are
I
like,
swear.
oh, I need a Red Bull to get through this fucking day.
Yeah.
But it would piss me off because, like, you know, the 6 foot distance rule was like such a big thing.
Oh,
but
yeah.
when I would go stock my shit, like, they wouldn't close the registers for me. So I'd be like, all right, well, I'm not stocking that fridge because fuck the employees that are stocking the shit,
yeah.
right? Oh, yeah, fuck their safety. But when it comes to the customers and stuff, oh, hey, you need to be 6 feet. I'm like, I was so pissed off. But yeah, there'd be times where sometimes they would close the register for us just so I could stock the stuff because you got to have 6
Oh,
feet.
yeah, yeah.
But it was crazy time now to think about it.
Yeah.
It
dude.
was crazy, and it broke me because we were like getting hit left. Like one, we were so busy, busier than ever, and then we were like our staff was dropping like flies. You know, COVID. They were getting COVID, or whether they were or not. I
Yeah.
mean, people were dropping like
You're
flies.
getting paid for it. Why wouldn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then guess who would like? You know, management always gets the
Short end of the stick.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I was working crazy hours, like nonstop.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
And then
But-
you feel like you have to because you're the management. I'm just
Yeah.
like, dude, while the guy in charge or the area manager, district manager, whatever, just at home chilling, watching the numbers go up. I'm like, oh, that's what. Oh god.
Yeah, I bet you we hit really high numbers during that time. But
Probably.
either way,
how were your bonuses?
What bonuses?
yeah,
Oh,
I
damn.
wouldn't get bonuses.
I bet you that district manager has a nice little Mercedes in the parking lot.
Or the actual manager for sure.
Oh yeah, the store
Yeah.
manager too, huh?
Manager. Never mind. I'm just not.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It pisses you off thinking about it. I know.
Yeah, yeah, because she would tell me about like, you know, when you become manager, like these are all the perks you're gonna get, you know. So she sold it like really good.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
She told me everything, like, and I was like, oh, that sounds.
They dangle
nice.
that carrot in front of you for as long as you
Yeah.
need to, and then you're like, I'm never gonna reach that carrot.
for sure.
Which, if somebody out there is a manager or ends up being a manager, there probably is some good damn perks to it. So
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
just got to work for it.
you just gotta really, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so that broke me, and I one day I think I literally cried because I was so like upset, and I cry when I'm upset too. But
It's okay. We talked with Seneca and we said that
crying is
It's-
okay.
crying is okay.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
still do it to this day. I don't care. But yeah, I came home crying, and I told them like I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah, you. I remember we went camping.
Oh yeah, finally I was like, we planned this trip. I'm taking these days off. Like I don't care. And obviously I didn't have service up there, so I had everything like situated in the store, right? Because I was in charge at that point, just kind of overseeing everything. And then we go camping, and I'm like, oh, such relaxation, right? And then we're coming down, and I start getting service, and there's all these messages from like my staff saying like someone didn't show up, we don't have someone to close, we don't have this and that, and I was just like who's gonna have to take care of this? Me. And then that's when I was like, I'm done. Like I quit.
No way. That was it.
Yeah, like I found she was talking on the phone in the backyard, and like she's legit like bawling, calling her manager or district manager, and she's like quitting. And I'm like, why are you crying? She's like, I didn't want to quit, but I couldn't handle it no more.
Yeah,
Or
I was
something
like,
like that,
I
like-
never want to quit, but
yeah, like she
it
didn't want to
just-
be a quitter.
Yeah.
So
But-
question. So this is something that, bringing back to Seneca. Did you ask for help? Did you ever reach out to your district
Yeah.
manager and be like, hey, I need help.
Yeah.
I can't do this. I need somebody to come down here to close. I need to enjoy my personal life.
It was
I think we closed the store for that day.
yeah, because you quit. No, I think that was it.
But there was a few other nights where we didn't have someone, like someone would call off or whatever, and we would close early.
Yeah, because I remember you would open.
Yeah, I would be there.
Then you would work till like 6, and then you would go home, and then you didn't have a closer, so you would have to go back and close.
What?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I was working crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I've never worked that much in my life, I think.
That's crazy though. But you have to understand.
Pobrecita.
There's another.
OT.
There's an AutoZone across the street now, but obviously you don't want them to go to a competitor. But there's another O'Reilly's in Madera, so it's just like, I don't know.
I know.
I don't understand why you couldn't just close the store or bring somebody from over there, one of their employees over here to close. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few times where we did, but I did ask for help, and I think majority of the other stores were kind of on the same boat.
Oh, okay.
You know, because pandemic, like
Yeah.
there was
It's
no
just-
one they can send to me type of thing. So it was kind of like just try your best and work with it type of thing. Like they didn't really do much. And
Yeah.
I think at that point I was just kind of like, I think I got, what's the word? What do you call it? Burned out.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, totally. So anyway, I quit, and they really gave me the opportunity to go back, but I was like, no, that's it. I'm not. I mean, I already quit, right?
Yeah, you don't go.
Yeah,
you don't
you
go
don't
back
go
to an ex-girlfriend or boyfriend in this case. But yeah, you don't go back.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
What
I
are
mean,
you
you
gonna-
guys did to pilot, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, it's
You don't. That's.
you only go back when the sex is really good. But
Anyway,
what's it
Pero
called?
ya no quiero.
No, well, I mean, I thought Mario. I'm telling you, it's really
Hey,
good, bro. It's
This is
enticing.
his first time back though.
But I'm telling you, he's only going back because that
That's-
was really good,
Oh,
dude. So
Okay, so tell us how
okay,
did you get
yes, so-
into where?
so then I took a huge break, and then after a couple months, I think it was, I was like, I can't stay home. Like, this is driving me nuts. So I started kind of looking for more of an office setting job. I was like, I need to change industries. I guess at that point, like Danny was really like, well, you can go back to school, but I was like, I don't want to go back to school. Like, no. And then started doing my research, and then someone told me about, you know, this organization, and then they were hiring for like an office manager or office, assistant, whatever. So I was like, you know, that's different. Like, I can be in an office setting, you know, how hard can that be type of thing. And the pay was okay. You know, it was good. So it was Monday through Friday. I didn't have to work weekends, which was huge, you know, coming from like a retail industry,
yeah,
working swings or, you know, covering shifts or working weekends, whatever. So I was like, man, I can get weekends off 8 to 5. Like, this is perfect. So I applied, got the job, and I was an office manager for about 6 months. And it was easy, but it was hard for me going from like a retail, super fast-paced environment to now sitting at a desk. Like, I was used to standing up, you know, the customers coming and going, like, you know what I mean? Like that fast-paced, to now sitting there and like,
making coffee?
yeah, Danny would make fun of me because that was like one of my biggest responsibilities, was making coffee in the morning, making sure there was always coffee, and then, you know, dumping it out at the end. So I would
got to make sure to send that out for the next day.
So I would tell him, I'm literally like throwing away all this coffee at the end of the day or whatever. I mean, people would drink coffee, but either way, he's like, oh, that's all you do is make coffee. But no, like, I would just make sure that, you know, the office was intact, order supplies, answer the phone, schedule meetings, things like that. But it wasn't like enough for me. I just felt like I needed more. And I started asking for more work, which I guess I don't regret it. But now it's like I have my plate full. But either way, after 6 months, I moved up within the organization to another position, which is within the same program that I'm overseeing right now. And then after that, I just continued to move positions to where I am now as, you know, a program manager or coordinator. But to answer your question, I know I made that super long, but to answer your question, what I'm trying to say is that I think from my experience from working retail at O'Reilly's and managing and overseeing, you know, multiple staff of like, you know, 10, 15 or more, and multitasking, that customer service skill as well, really transferred into what I do right now. Because like I said, there's a lot of moving pieces in overseeing a program. And I mean, in retail, you have goals overall. You have to meet certain sales, certain metrics, right? Same thing with our program. Like, we have to meet certain amount of placements into employment, things like that. So I think that those skills that I learned were transferable, as I think anywhere else too. Any skills that you learn are transferable to any other job. and you can implement it too. So for me, what helped me was, multitasking, time management, as well as just I guess you can say the professionalism of like business services or client customer service. I in O'Reilly's, I oversaw a lot of the commercial accounts. I was, the manager for the commercial department there as well. So I work with mechanics that ordered, parts through us, and we would deliver their parts. So with that, what I'm trying to prove is that really helped me to be a manager and now only overseeing maybe like 2 or 3 staff. Before I was overseeing a lot more, but I'm working more directly with them here now. Over there, it's like you can train anyone, I feel, within that job in retail. And here you kind of have to make sure that they're continuing to develop, right? And that we're meeting those goals and their metrics. But to prove my point is I think the time management was like a huge one for me. I'm able to organize my day-to-day however I want. It's all depending on timelines and what needs to be done, priorities, things like that. So that's how I manage my calendar, and it's just time management. I think with I'm comparing it to retail in a sense where, you have planograms, you have inventory, you have so many things that have to be done, in a day.
So many moving parts, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like the same thing over here. And I think that's one of my strengths, is managing the time to make sure that everything gets completed on time and that we're meeting those deadlines and those metrics and that we're reaching our goals type of thing. Same thing like over here, meeting ourselves. I would say at O'Reilly's, I was one of the top sellers.
It's funny that you say that, because I also think that when I used to work retail, same thing. Everything would just go by so fast. You're standing up, you're doing all this, and you're expected so much because you're not just standing around. Sometimes you don't have customers, so hey, you're stocking, you're front facing, you're doing all these other things, right? And it goes hand in hand, because when you go to another job, it really helps. It's an advantage, because like, hey, you might go into a slower setting, but hey, your time management is still there, and you're gauging, hey, what I need to do. But then maybe the employer, I'm like, oh, damn, you got that done really fast. Oh, they got that.
They give you more stuff.
They give you more. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it does go hand in hand, but it's just like, it also can backfire at times. But I mean, if the employers aren't paying attention, they're not going to give you more. But I mean, like I said, it does go, it is a really grateful, not grateful, but it's a really good skill to have. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And even then too, with like handling like difficult situations or like difficult customers that I dealt with like at O'Reilly's, I think that prepared me to handling that now where I work now. I mean, we have difficult situations, or even, difficult customer businesses as well. I wouldn't say difficult, but specific scenarios where I have to kind of step in as a manager and face that. But now, I feel over here it's a little more professional than, O'Reilly's or whatever. Right. But yeah.
The only thing I had to say was just when it comes to the whole fast-paced scenario, I think that's where you kind of tend to see where people make it or break it. You can see where like, hey, people can handle the stress, and when you kind of transfer into a different role, you get to see that side of people. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't know that when you're kind of looking for candidates, not necessarily I know you, but when your employers and stuff, I think that's oh hey, the only field that they have is just like as a cashier. I'm like, hey, cashiers are always in a fast-paced environment, and they want to move into something else. I mean, if anybody thinks that they can't do something because hey, all I have is do cashier, I think you're a living testament to that. That you can pretty much go and join any other field and see, dip your toes into it. Yeah. Because I think people they get scared and hey, I'm comfortable here. I like this, I like that, or whatever it is. I mean, you have background, you have experience in something. Take that experience that you've learned and try to do something else so you can use the experience you've already learned, but gain another experience at another job that you might like. Even if you don't like it, you grab that experience and you go somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I also think too, like one of the things that we show our candidates is, for example, if you were just a cashier, you kind of dig deeper or kind of digest that in a sense of like, okay, you were not just a cashier. Like, what else did you learn, or what other responsibilities did you handle with being a cashier? You learn cash handling responsibility. There's all these other different skills that surround that, but they don't know how to showcase it. Yeah. Just because all they think is cashier. Yeah. So there's more to it that you can put in your resume, or when you're interviewing, you can bring up.
No, for sure. I totally agree. Because when I went to using my resume, I was like, oh yeah, I would make orders and I would stock the fridge and stuff. You tell your job responsibility or job title to ChatGPT and it comes with like 150 things of what I used to. I'm like, dude, I did do that. You just tend to forget. So it's just like, I don't know.
Or not know how to put it in words like, yeah, you know?
So it's like, again, you think that all you're doing is just like, hey, stocking, but it's like, no, that's organizational skills. That's there's just so many other things that you can use, you know, different terms to use for it. But yeah, I think people that struggle with words, hey, ask for help, you know, because at the end of the day, ChatGPT has taught me a lot. And I'm not saying like, hey, don't copy everything off of it, but just use that as an example, you know, because, you know, I thought dishwasher would just be like, oh, hey, dishwasher. No, it's an underwater ceramic technician. So just, dude, it sounds better than dishwasher, right? So just be technical with those words, man.
It's a great tool.
Yeah,
it really is an amazing tool. I will say.
Yeah, if you use it correctly, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
for the right reasons, I guess. Is what I'm
what's the wrong reasons? Oh, like plagiarism.
Yeah, or like just, you know, literally copying and pasting, like,
yeah,
you know
there's
what I mean?
so many things. I mean, you can get caught so many ways. I mean, I don't know if you go on Indeed now. It says a bunch of employers like, can we run this through our database to see if it's AI?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you can opt no, but they know you used AI. So it's just like, oh, he copied it. So you just got to be careful with those two. So yeah. So before we get out of here, I kind of want to touch bases on something that you've been nominated for. Danny, you kind of want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah. So we'd like to congratulate you on being selected as, what is it, 40 under 40 for Fresno County. Yeah, that's awesome. Really proud of you. That's
Thank you.
Really awesome. And I don't know entirely of what it is, but it is 40 business individuals in Fresno County that are under 40 years old that are impacting and making Fresno County greater. Is that am I around the ballpark?
It's kind of like business leaders or business professionals, recognizing like business professionals in specific, like either public or private sectors that have maybe stood out within their organization.
I got it. I got it from here.
Oh, okay.
So 40 under 40 refers to an awards program that recognizes 40 individuals under the age of 40 who have achieved significant success in their respective fields, often highlighting leadership, innovation, and community impact within their professional careers. So,
does it say checking emails?
Oh, no, it doesn't.
Bam, I don't just check emails.
She's impacting her community, though, bro. So,
congratulations. We are very proud of you.
Thank you.
That is awesome. Hopefully, I could get 50 under 50. Maybe.
No, it's really awesome. I want to be completely blunt. I've never heard of it. I think it's awesome that they do this. I wish it was a little bit more well known, you know? Because I hate to say this, but you see these billboards that have nothing to do. Well, I'm like, dude, throw up a billboard up there, you know?
Yeah.
Like with 40 billboards with each person on there, you know? It'd be kind of cool.
I guess, I mean, I had never really heard about it until I started working, you know, in this field. So, I think that's how I found out about it. But honestly, I'm very appreciative. Like, I never thought that I would be nominated for it. So, you know, I thank our CEO for nominating me. I was really surprised that I was even, nominated. I just never saw myself being one of them. But I'm grateful for it. And
yeah, it's cool. They saw something in you that you didn't. So it's kind of, I don't know. I just think it's awesome. But now here's the real part. Does it come with a raise? Do you get like a big paper check? Do you get a trophy?
No, we just get recognized.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, no raise. I don't think, not attached to it. But honestly, I feel like it was like perfect timing because when they told me that I was nominated, I think I was going through
like you didn't.
I was going through a kind of not a rough patch, but I was kind of feeling like, am I
burnt
really
out?
doing am I fulfilling my job? Like, am I doing a good job? Like,
this is news to me.
So you were doubting yourself, like if you were doing
I was kind of feeling like, I don't know if I'm doing like a really good job, or I guess I wasn't getting that feedback at that time. and maybe I was looking for it. And I was just kind of feeling like, oh, like, I don't know if I'm doing really good at my role at the moment. Like, I was doubting myself, and then they surprised me with that, and then that just made me feel like, okay, maybe I am doing.
But it was funny because when you told me, she came home with flowers, and then what happened?
So what happened was, you know, I was there reading my emails and in my office, and Lance, the person that organizes the event or whatever, we know him in our office, and he went in, and then he was like, hey, can I see you for a minute? And I was like, why would he want to see me? Like, this is so weird. So I was like, sure. So I get up and go towards the hallway, stepping out of my office, and there's like a bunch of people from the staff, and there are flowers, and they're like, oh my God, congratulations, you've been nominated for the 40 under 40. And then they gave me flowers, and I literally felt like Miss Congeniality, you know? Like, I just totally felt in that, but I was like confused, and I was like, okay, in my head, I thought, oh, I've been like,
nominated, just nominated,
but not selected for the 40 under 40. Like, I've just been nominated, and I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like, thank you so much. And like, they're all giving me hugs and the flowers and everything. And then I'm like, okay, cool. And then they're like, yeah, our CEO like nominated you, blah, blah, blah. And then everyone kind of leaves, and like my closer coworkers were like, aren't you excited? Like, oh my God, congratulations. Like, we cried when we found out. And I was like, you cried? And they're like, yeah, we thought you were going to cry. And I was like, wait, what's going on? And then they were like, dude, you got in, you're in the 40 under 40. And then I was like, oh my God, like that makes a big old difference. Like, I'm in.
Wait, after everybody's gone. Yeah. Everybody's gone. They're like, oh, this bitch.
So she didn't look that amazing.
She wasn't even like
appreciative.
I wasn't even phased, huh? No, but it was like, and then after that, I was like, holy shit, like, okay, like this makes, I don't know. I think it was just like all too much at once, and I was kind of like confused, like what the hell is going on? But yeah.
You can just say, I don't like surprises. I don't like being caught off guard like that.
Is there a feeling like when you see the list of individuals, the other 39, and then you see your name on there, is there like a feeling toward like with that?
Yeah, it's a little surreal. Like, I don't know. I guess for me, like, it's an accomplishment
that you didn't have,
that I didn't have, or like I don't know, it's like an award or a nominee, you know what I mean? Like, it's just something that it feels good to be a part of, and that someone thought that I was a good candidate for it. So yeah.
Yeah, I saw a couple doctors and vets on there, so I'm like, damn, you made it on the list, dude. That's awesome. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if there's any doctor. I have no idea.
There's I think I have it somewhere here.
I just saw like Fox 26 or ABC 30. I think there's like a news anchor or something. She's on the bottom. I was like, oh, or he or she. I don't know. But I think it's awesome. Again, I've never heard of it. I think it's kind of cool to kind of, I don't know, that, you know, the company you work for went out of their way to kind of make sure you're recognized. And I think, for me anyway, I like being recognized. Even it could be, oh, hey, you went out of your way to go help a customer. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that because it's part of my job. I want to get recognized, fool. Give me a gift card. Like, tell me I'm a good boy, you know? Like, you know when your dog does a good, like a
good job.
A trick? Yeah.
Throw a pizza party.
Yeah, I'll take the pizza party, dude. But it's just like, you know, like, I'm just going to use this as an example. I know women clean the house, do the dishes all day. But when I do the dishes, bro, I want to be recognized. Like, hey, babe, good job. You did the dishes. Like, who's a good boy? Like, that's what I want, you know? Because I didn't have to.
Vani.
Yeah.
If you're listening.
When you're listening, please tell him.
Give me some bacon strips.
Such a good boy. Yeah. Come over here. Rub his belly.
But again... I can't be the only one, because you're saying like, hey, you think you're not doing a great job, and it's just like, hey, obviously you are, you know. So
yeah, I mean, I don't always need credibility, right? Or I guess recognition, but here and there, I mean, it feels nice. I think anyone would probably feel that way.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's cool. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna be celebrating you tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's gonna be kind of cool.
Or for all the listeners, we celebrated her on Thursday.
Oh yeah, on Thursday. Yeah. So this past Thursday. So yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. I don't think I've ever gone to a place that has hors d'oeuvres. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's just little sliders.
It says heavy hors d'oeuvres.
Little sliders and chicken wings.
I'll take it.
Boneless.
I'll take it.
Who knows? But thank you guys for supporting me.
Yeah. Anything else? Any last words?
Let's see.
Maybe somebody that's like, hey, on edge of like either trying to get a new career, a new job, or maybe somebody that's like unemployed right now and they just don't know what to do, or it could be somebody that wants to go work for a nonprofit. Like what would you say to them?
Yeah, I think, and I like what Seneca said in the podcast last week, which was like, nothing's gonna change if you don't make the change.
I just used that today, did I not?
I like your guys' quotes or sayings, but I think I resonate with that because if I would have never quit, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I would have probably still be at O'Reilly's. Yeah. Probably. And for me, it was, I'm glad I made the change and got uncomfortable, because you know what they say, when you're too comfortable, then what's the saying? It's not good when you're too comfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're stagnant. Like when you're comfortable, you're
not growing.
You're not growing. Yeah. So even till now, like, I'm always learning something at my job and at my position. Like, I don't think I've plateaued or anything like that. I'm continuing to develop, and I like that. Like, I like little challenges like that and getting me out of my comfort zone. So I really had to, even though my skills were transferable, it's like I still had to learn, that new role, or a lot about the organization, that sort of thing. So it's a completely different field. So what I would say is, if you hate your job or you're unhappy, I think it's okay to quit or resign, give notice. Don't just quit on the spot like I did probably. Or if you do, that's fine too, whatever. In the end, you have to do what you got to do, right, for yourself. But I think health comes first. And if you're just miserable and unhealthy, like if it's not a healthy work environment, or and not that O'Reilly wasn't, but you know what I mean, like you're burned out, it's just you're not healthy overall, just let that go and look for another opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity out there with jobs. Like, now being in this field, I can see that there's so many things. And Ed, you went into this, and I think that's why you created this podcast too, is because there's so many jobs out there that you don't even know about. Yes. So I would say, like, just do the search, look at kind of what you're looking for, get out there, and just get uncomfortable. I would say that. And then the other thing I would say is, I don't know, like, I've never met anyone that like has told me like, I love my job. Have you guys? Because you know how people say like, it's not a job when you love it or love going to work every day or whatever. Like, I hear people say like, oh, I really like my job, or I like what I do. But does it feel like you're not going to work? Probably not. I don't know. But, and the reason I say that is because I just feel like there's no such thing as a perfect job.
I agree.
Every job has its perks and its flaws. You're never going to be 100% like happy with everything that's happening in that job. So if you're seeking for, I think, a perfect job, I don't think that exists in my opinion, but definitely you can improve to where you were before. You can advance to something better, whether if it's pay or shift or just a different environment. I think it's something that you should take that leap of faith, that change or whatever. So that would be my message. And even within those that are unemployed or looking for a job or maybe assistance or anything like that, is I would say reach out to the resources that are available to you, whether if it's like, for example, at Department of Social Services, just ask like, hey, I'm looking for a job, and they'll help you. I think you won't receive help unless you ask. So that's one of the other things I want to say, is just ask. Like, it doesn't hurt to ask.
Closed mouths don't get fed. Mouths don't get fed, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll end it on that note. So, Jackie, thank you very much for coming here. I really do appreciate it. Again, tomorrow we're going to celebrate you. So it's going to be all about you tomorrow. All right.
Appreciate it. And thank you guys for filling me in on your busy schedules. Yeah. Definitely. Being a filler for today is fine.
I was kidding.
You're never a filler.
I was kidding.
This is a comedy podcast, by the way. So we take jokes.
Yeah.
This was a joke.
Don't get butthurt.
Just saying.
Okay. So thank you everyone for listening to the podcast. Danny, you want to go ahead and close it out?
Yeah, absolutely. I think also excited for next week. We have all our guests are special. This is the first person that Ed and I really don't know. Usually our guests consist of like, oh, we know this person from their family member, their friend, their person that we met years ago. But this person is someone that I walked into because I love this restaurant, and I was like, you know what? Let me ask the manager, see if he's willing to be on our podcast, and he is.
So we were talking about getting uncomfortable, and I think that's going to be our motto for 2025.
Getting uncomfortable, yeah.
Yeah, because or getting vulnerable, like damn, I almost called her Vanessa again. Like Seneca said, it's something that we're talking. You know, Jackie, you brought it up right now. So many jobs out there that we don't even know about, and I really do want to deep dive a little bit more and just kind of go. Even if I got to go stand outside until they clock out at 3 or 4, I'm like, hey man, this is what I'm. You know, I'm just gonna put myself out there because there are so many jobs where I'm kind of interested in. Where who knows? I mean, I might want to just jump in that field. And one of those things is that wastewater operator I keep talking to you about. I really want to go. Just I know it smells like shit out there, but I want to go out there and like, hey, dude, what do you do? Mm-hmm. Or there's you know, all these people that work on the dairies and stuff, you know, because I see these people with these long gloves going up these cows' butts. I'm like, yo, what are you doing in there? And I'm just like, hey, what is your job? What are you doing? So many jobs out there. You can consider this kind of like dirty jobs, you know. I'm going to go out there, and I think, you know, again, that's going to be us for 2025 is just getting vulnerable and looking out for those jobs, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So, next week, new person, new guest, and we are excited to have him here, and we'll tell you about it later.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for listening to the podcast, and we'll catch you on the next one.